So 520 pencils is a lot of pencils. So for my birthday this year, I decided to get myself the Brutfuner 520 pencils. I'd been eyeing them on Amazon. I was so curious about 520 pencils, and would they be any good? Would there just be repeats upon repeats of pencils? Would there be enough differences in the colors to have a reason to have 520? I mean, I've been happy with 150 Prismacolors, 144 Kohinoors. I mean, that's not even half of this set. So I was curious what these would look like. So when I got these two giant boxes in the mail, I knew I was in for something. So let's take a look inside of one of these boxes. We'll start with box number 1 here. You can see it right here. 260 Brutfuner oily colored pencils. That means they're oil-based, not wax. Not that they're actually like oily in touch. We'll open this up. You can see that there are several trays of pencils. Now, the thing is, they're not in any sort of order as you go through these, which keeps it really, really interesting. So it's like, okay, we feel like we might be. Then it jumps back to purple. Like, it felt like we were kind of going in order. Then we've got some grays and neutrals. This one has way more color than it looks like. To greens, back to purples and browns. So it's kind of a little all over the place in color order in here. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay. The first order of business to start these pencils and get it to where I can use these is we're gonna have to start swatching and seeing what I am actually working with. Swatching literally took months of my life with these pencils. I started off just creating a basic spreadsheet. I figured this was the easiest way to see these. You can see the spreadsheet here. I printed on a legal size paper so it wouldn't take as many sheets. It still took quite a few. This first one is just how they are in the box. And so let's kind of go through what I learned with that. I'll zoom in here just a little bit for you guys. Focus it. There we go. Okay. So we look what we see. It looks like we're starting off that these are pretty comparable going back and forth till we get to here. And we realize tray 3 is a little different. It was like they reversed these two trays. Okay. And that was just a boxing error or something. This one's back to the same, but then, oh, now we're different again between the two. And still different. And still different. Because these are mostly, one of the things you're going to notice, and I'll go through this with just a second, is that they've got letters on the pencils that help you know what the different pencils are. So I learned a lot in doing this. This helped me kind of see the color layout. So from here, I was able to start putting them into color groups. You can see this is my next spreadsheet that I created, was having them in their coloring groups. Now seeing them in what's in box A and box B, also did a giant one. Now this one's on regular paper where I've got them all together in one list. Would have been easier if I had had like each color on a separate sheet, but we'll get to that in a minute. So you can see they're not in any particular order. Now on the pencil, let's get one of the pencils out here. We'll go through the pencil. We'll pull lipstick red right here. Now if you see lipstick red, we'll go back to autofocus right here. We'll focus on the pencil. Okay, lipstick red right here. It has the name. What you can't see right here is it's got like a stamped number. So I put that number on the sheet. Those numbers, I cannot figure out what they are for. They make no sense whatsoever. They're all over the place. They don't correspond with the box number. It is 1 through 520. So I will run them again and see if I can figure out anything. But yeah, it's very odd. They're not seeming to make any sense. We also have an R54 out of 520. I don't know why that would be out of 520. I guess it's just letting me know that I've got the 520 set or that there's 520 total. But R on these, from what I can figure, stands for red. We have B for blue, G for green. We have K, which I'm thinking they meant to stand for black, which makes sense. I said that they were black, grays, and neutrals because if you see right here on the page, we've got a bunch of different colors that are kind of in a pink and a green, a little bit of blue. So I kind of said they were in the neutral grayish family right there. We have neons. Neons started with L. No idea why. N wasn't taken. Maybe light. And then AL right here at the top was metallics. Now all of the colors started with B1, G1, etc., except for the metallics. Don't know why those didn't follow that. They were kind of all over the places. And the neons didn't start with 1. Start with 5. So another one that was kind of confusing on that. So a little bit weird. Those were things I learned. So after all of this, I got together more usable swatch sheets. So now we can kind of look at the color distribution. So you can see quite a few swatch sheets here. We got box A, which is the leaf box, box B, which is the floral box. Hold on, box B, 260 box B. Oh, I used this one for photos. That's why these are, I'm like, why is this one not? That's why it's not all filled in. This is the one I want. Okay, right here. So now we can kind of look at the color distribution on this. Let's get it white balanced again. So the color distribution here, you can see we've got a pretty good one. Lots of metallics right here. That is 24 metallics. Good amount on that. They're not in any, when you put them in number order, they're not in any specific order. The same with the neons right here. A total of 12 of those, also a good number of neon. They felt like normal neon pencils, and so did the metallics. They felt like normal metallic pencils. They're not like the most satisfying to use. I always feel like they feel kind of scratchy, and it takes a lot of work to try to get something to lay down. But just confused also that these have zeros in their numbers when the other ones do not have zeros. It starts R1, but these are LO5. Makes me wonder if there's a 1 through 4 out there somewhere. If there's more neons that they have, just because this numbering system doesn't line up with the other pencils. But here is the selection of blues. I thought you guys would like to see what this looks like right here. All of the blues in one. I can't get it on one sheet right here. To create this sheet, I gave the number, the name, and where you can find it. So it's tray, it's box, tray, slot. Because there's so many in here. They come in no particular order. It doesn't make any sense to try to put them in all the blues together because still the trays are going to be weird. You're still going to have 2 boxes. I mean, 520 pencils is a lot to try to organize. So in this, I was able to find where there were some that were similar. I mean, you can kind of see right here. Look at all of those colors. And hopefully the camera's picking it out as well as ocean depths. These are all very, 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 very similar. There's not a huge difference in those pencils. The blues left me with a little bit to be desired as far as range went, because it did feel like a lot of more repeats. Now the greens, on the other hand, the greens felt like they were a little more, had a little more variety in them. There were still several that are right there and similar, but they're just a teeny bit different. Again, it's 520 pencils. They're going to be really, really similar. This one I felt had a lot of interest in it, just because it kind of goes all over the place. And I think that this would be a really interesting, with the blacks, to create something just using these colors. Reds also, lots of variety there. I don't know why this one was considered a red anemone right here, considering that they have a V for violet. Feels like that should be over here in that category. We then have yellows, which poor oranges. Oranges, they're either yellow or red. They don't get to be their own, right? And then we have browns as well. Right here, browns is YK, yellow is yellow. Don't know why they did YK for brown. I mean, there's B was taken by blue, R was taken by red. You could have had O, W, N. So clearly different language. But yeah, YK is the browns, like kind of the earthy tones here. Mostly in the brown family. I don't think any of these really ventured anywhere out of that. I know sometimes like in the Prismacolors, your ochres will tend to be a little more green. I think they kept those mostly in the green category here. So most of the browns were in the brown. So that is what I learned for swatching. Let's see how these pencils perform. Now to see how these test. First, I did forget that there were color lists included with these. They're really blank. They have little rectangles. They will work, but basically you can put the box order on these is all they're really, really great for figuring out. The little sidelines where you can write them will fit like trying to write R54, but if you're trying to write AL8025, which are some of the numbers, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble fitting that on there. So just to know that they are there. It's a great thing to have with these. I wish most pencils would include something like that, but then again, I don't because I sell those over at my Etsy stores. If you liked the previous ones that I did, those are totally available if you want to go download those right there as an instant download. So go check them out, help support the channel with those. But I digress. Let's get back to testing these guys. So I've got a couple of pencils here so that we can start going through. I'm gonna pick the darkest one, this beautiful Mykonos blue that I have right here. We're gonna give it a good old piece there. So let's see, how does it erase? I use the same eraser for all of them. Okay, that erases pretty well. It's not a complete, and I don't expect these to completely erase. They are not billed as erasable pencils, but to be able to like lift a little bit so you can fix it, that works great. So we will say that you erase pretty much, I'm gonna say that's middle of the road, maybe a little bit more. Maybe we can give you 3.5 stars. I'll give you 3.5. 3 is middle, just to let you know, like with this, for my chart. So blendability, I always use 2 really similar colors. Let's see, we'll start, actually I'll do it big and we can see how it goes to light. And then we'll come in. Here, see how well they just blend as pencils. Normally it takes several layers, so I do not expect this on the first layer to be perfect. Those are blending surprisingly well. I am actually really, really happy. So let's see, we'll try to use the Brilliant White up here and see how they white blend together. Oh, that's like the white blend on that. Surprising. Let's see what blender pencil. I need to sharpen it real quick. Sharpening Mason Mar. It was a little dirty. Ooh. So they do work well with those. See if I can kind of smooth up the line down here too. I kind of work it. Okay, I am very happy with the blendability on these. That is great blendability right there. So let's see also how this blends to like a non-related color. I always like to see kind of a related color, and then we'll go in with pink here. Again, looks like we're doing really well, surprisingly so. The blue is dominating a little bit. Let's, to be kind of expected, it is a more dominant color. So let's see, let's hit this with a white. Oh, I meant to use tofu. We will use tofu. These are the two whites in the set. Okay, the blue is still staying pretty, even though I was using it sparingly. Okay, the blender works better than the white with different colors, but still pretty good. What do you say? I think we can give it a 4 for blendability. Opacity. So I do have two here. I have Brilliant White and Tofu. The two whites in the set. One comes in box A, the other in box B. I think it's better than Crayola. It's better than Crayola. Not as good as Prismacolor. Not that I expected this white to be as good as Prismacolor. I'm not gonna lie on that. Ooh, I might just have to give this one a 3. So, the next one is hand fatigue on here. After swatching, I think I can clearly say that as far as pencils go, I didn't have much hand fatigue at all. So I'm willing to give that a 4. For that one. Color vibrancy, these were great and vibrant. So we'll give them, and I'm comparing these to budget pencils for the most part on these. So for budget pencils, color vibrancy was great. They're gonna get a 4. And then predictability. And predictability is where the barrel matches what the color is, as well as the color name matching kind of what it is. Running into the issue again with their 520 pencils with this. And there were 5 times that the same name was used.
Got married in Italy. Am I saying you copied me by getting married in Italy? Who performed at my wedding? Andrea Bocelli. Who performed at Courtney's wedding? Andrea Bocelli. You stole my wedding country and my wedding performer. Andrea Bocelli is my favorite male singer of all time, but I'm copying her Dolce Vita lifestyle. Okay.
I kept finding them as I went along. I kept thinking I found all of them, and I kept finding another one and another one. And so with that, I feel like I can't give them a great one on predictability, because with multiples being named the same thing, what do I expect from it? So for predictability, I'm going to go down to a 2 on this. You can go to any paint store and see that there are so many names for colors. So there's not really that big of a need to repeat them in this. The last thing I want to look at is price. The price on these is incredible. For the whole set, it was $119.99, as you come to expect. 520 pencils, that comes to 23 cents per pencil. So not expensive per pencil. The one downside is none of these are in open stock. So what you see is what you get. I guess that's a good thing that several of them are so similar. So if you use one up, you've got others that can fill in the spot. And the chances that you would use that many up in a set this big is actually pretty small, I would think, just over time with it. So overall, would I buy these again, having gotten them? Yes, I would. I think they're a fun set of pencils. I do have plans to do something else do more things with them going forward, as well as some coloring that you'll see in future videos. So be watching for that. Again, the swatch sheets are in the Etsy store, so make sure you go check those out. It really does help support this channel as I enjoy my color pencil journey, as well as I'm going to be exploring some other things here soon in several videos, so be watching for that. So if you haven't yet subscribed, now's a great time to do it, and make sure you hit that bell notification so that you get notified when new things go live. I'd love to have you along this journey with me. So that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye. There is no way that the smallest, hardest to read number that is in the worst place possible on the pencil could be the most important. But why is it there? Well, that's interesting. They seem to be in order, but what's this? And this is a very strange order in how we flow, but I guess this is just going to need a little more research.